Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Aminah binti Edin. My number country 170 ID 19F2002 and I'm from class DPD50173.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Nurlalila binti Yaakob and my number matrix is 170 ID 19F2006 and I'm from DPD5A.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Aina Afina binti Ahmad. My number matrix 170 ID 19F2014 and I'm from class DPD5A.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Isri Jabullah. My number matrix is 170 ID 19F2020. I'm from class DPD5A.
Scenario 6. Puan Ain is working as a manager in bakery in neighborhood. Her salary is 6,000 per month. She has one daughter and one son. She got personal financing facility from ABC Islamic Bank amounting Rm 150,000 ringgit to help her husband to start up their own business. She pay 1,100 per month for 10 years in 5th year. She failed to pay the installment of his financing. The total outstanding balance of his financing is Rm 120,000 ringgit. Next is background of customer. Puan Ain working as manager in bakeries in neighborhood. Her salary is 6,000 per month. She got personal financing facility from ABC Islamic Bank amounting Rm 150,000 ringgit. She fails to pay the installment of his financing. The total outstanding balance of his financing is 120,000 ringgit. Next is credit problem of customer. Problem credits mean such problem arising from, among others, the borrower's non-compliance with the term of the financial assistance, including failure to meet repayment of principal or interest or collateral obligation, such as based on the scenario 6, where Puan Ain got her personal financing facility from ABC Islamic Bank amounting Rm 150,000 and she had problem with the total outstanding balance of his financing is Rm 120,000 ringgit. So next is stage in credit recovery process. Step 1 is contact. Step 2, letter of demand. Step 3, negotiations. Step 4, debt collection agency. Step 5, legal actions. Step 1 is contact. Collection of your overdue accounts should be a daily task, not just look at when cash flow is poor. Yearly contact with your clients is more likely to address any issue that might be the reason for non-payment and provided opportunity for discussions. Depending upon the size of the debt and relationship with your client, you may choose to arrange a meeting to discuss the debt with your client or simply contact by telephone.
Today I'm going to explain about the step 2, letter of demand. A letter of demand is a letter demanding payment of the debt due and owing by the debtor to the creditor within a reasonable and specific time. The letter concludes by stating that in the event of non-payment within the time set, legal action may be taken with no further notice. A letter of demand is not compulsory nor a requirement to commence legal proceeding, but it may be helpful. For example, the letter of demand, particularly if issued by a law firm, may result in a full or part payment, initiate settlement discussion, or solicit an admission to the debt by the way of a request for more time. If the debtor does not respond to the letter of demand and disputes the debt, the non-response will add credibility to the claim when the matter proceeds to the court. Next, I'm going to explain about the step 3, negotiation. In the event there is a dispute between you and your client is unable to pay in full, it may be more beneficial to negotiate a satisfactory amount of arrangement that will see payment of the debt without further action. Next is step 4, debt collection agency. A debt collection agency can assist with the collection of your debt. There are costs associated with using a debt collection agency, and this need to be considered when deciding whether or not to refer your debt to the agency. You need to also consider what might be the cost if you do not refer the debt to be an agency. If you have a debtor, no longer a client, who is not paying your account, chances are they are not paying other creditors. In referring your debt to a debt collection agency, you are likely to have the debtor increase the priority on payment of your debt. That's all from me, thank you.
Step 5. Legal action. Court. Should a letter of demand sent from the debt collection agency not be successful in inducing payment from your debtor, legal action will be necessary. Legal action can be complex, but your agency will be informed on the legal process and know what action is best taken to cover your debt. Legal action pertaining to credit problem. First is if the court grant a judgment in default against the defendant, the judgment itself is deemed a court order for the defendant to pay the amount claimed under the suit. Second is if the debtor defendant does enter an appearance in court, and if the case is straightforward, a summary judgment application under Order 14 of the Rule of Court 2012 may be filed. A summary judgment application is suitable and will succeed where the defendant has no defense to the claim. A summary judgment application is decided based solely on the document, and if allowed will avoid the need for a full trial which witnesses are called to court to give oral evidence.
Legal action pertaining to credit problem. If the court grants a judgment in default against the defendant, the judgment itself is deemed a court order for the defendant to pay the amount claimed under the suit. If the debtor defendant does enter an appearance in court, if the case is straightforward, a summary judgment application under Order 40 of the Rules of Code 2020 may be filed. A summary judgment application is suitable and will succeed where the defendant has no defense to the claim. A summary judgment application is decided based solely on the document, and if allowance will avoid the need for a full trial and which witnesses are called to give oral evidence. And the last is conclusion. Credit analysis of a company involves evaluating the financial performance data of a corporate borrower to determine if it generates adequate cash flow to meet the debt payment, principal and interest payment. The credit analyst seeks to determine the level of risk that the lender subjects itself to by lender to a particular borrower. For example, if a bank finds that a specific entity shows a high risk of default based on past credit payment history, it will be reluctant to extend credit to such type of borrower. The bank can either choose to reject the loan application or lend at a high interest rate to compensate for the high risk of default. Thank you.